Hi everybody, Joshua here with the Heavy Piano YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be a piano tutorial for Radiohead's Airbag. So I'm going to start pretty basic with just chords and melody, and then I'll go back and talk about voicings and rhythm that I'm using. So let's get right into it, starting with the introduction, D minor and A major. And our melody line starts on E natural. Then I bring it an octave up. Just D minor, A major, back and forth. Then when we end the introduction, we're coming into an A major for the verses. Maybe called a B major over B major 7, B7 over A. Let's say B7 over A. D minor over A. Back to A. Let me play that much without talking about it. Okay, so verse. Coming into chorus, we're going to go to B7. The way I voiced it is basically like an F sharp minor 7. You could play a D major over that F sharp minor. And then an E sus, E7 sus, E7 to A. Let me play that much again. Then we're going to go back to the introduction again. So we're getting started to talk about some voicings I'm using. So let's, the first D minor, we're going to use the first inversion. So it just means instead of having it in root position with the D in the bottom, we're going to have F in the bottom. And then when you go to the A is going to be in second inversion, which just means instead of having A in the root, we're going to have E in the root. So let me play that. And then we're going to go to root position. Root position. Same thing, an octave up. And then rather than ending on A, we're going to go right into the verse from that point. Let me show you how I put those two things together, the B, A, and then I'm playing the using my pinky at the top for both notes when using 2, 1, and then crossing over 2 back to the 1 on the D. Okay. Okay, I'm starting to allude to, at this point in my version, I'm doing some of the bass line. There's a really helpful bass cover video with the transcription on YouTube, and I'll link that in the description of this video below. But what I'm doing in my version, what I was trying to think of while I was improvising, was I wanted to start calling back to that, some of those bass motives. So I didn't want to really expand it too much, but just after, so we have intro, verse, chorus, intro, verse, chorus, and then we have this little bit of interlude before the instrumental part of the recording, which is going to be over A. So that's just what I'm thinking about. I'm starting to do some left hand patterns over the G, A, and E stuff. But then the main thing I'm thinking about next is the kind of this solo over A. It's just descending line, A, G sharp, F sharp, G sharp. We're going to go to D minor. Do that much again. All over A, D minor. I think what I did is I kept the A in the root. You could also do the thirds above. I think it's more improvisation on my part. A lot of white note groupings will work. Using that kind of that line to get out of there. Then out of that instrumental or the solo portion of the song, we're going to have our chorus twice. And this time the last few notes are a little bit higher instead of ending on the tonic. And this time the melody comes back down instead of staying up on that higher C sharp. And then from here, out of that chorus, I did start to play more with some of those notes in the bass line. And I didn't play it the exact same way as in the recording, but I was trying to capture some of that, like that rumbly kind of moody kind of bass sound. And I really built that up using some things like, kind of doing some rolled chords on the A major, using that B flat or the A sharp. There's also the line E, D, C sharp. Let me just play around a little bit. I'll try to talk about what I'm doing. I gotta come out of the chorus, sorry. Right hand is doing the patterns over the C, D, E, A. Just trying to pick some random patterns. Coming out of that, I was just hammering on that E a lot, going out to the outro. But it'll be up to you. You can use that descending line or use that A sharp. Some of those like fast rolled chords kind of sound. Then coming out of that, it's just the intro, but it'll be the outro this time. And then the way I ended my version on that A major chord, C sharp, D, E. I think I had wanted to allude to a descending line a little more. You could throw it in there if you wanted. again trying to do some random notes to let that fade out, and then finally end. So let's talk. I was starting to play some of the rhythm, so let's talk about what I'm doing there for the rhythm. So again, we're going back to that D minor first inversion. A major second inversion. Doing some more movement there, going up to the next octave. So I'm starting to use also, as I develop the melody in that introduction, I'm starting to use some inner voices here in the middle that are moving as well. So at the beginning, I'm low here, and so I'm really just kind of, not hammering, that's not the right word, but kind of making sure that melody is like driving through the introduction. Rolling up on that arpeggio, kind of like da 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 da, it's like driving you towards the next downbeat. And then definitely landing on that downbeat, bringing the energy back a little bit before the verse starts. The patterns, I'm more focused on the rhythm, and less about the notes exactly. So starting with the bottom note, going up, returning to the bottom note, then go to the top note. And again, not always doing the exact same rhythm. Sometimes I would kind of do a double note. It's all about like where the phrase is going and when is it going to land, and when is the energy landing onto the next chord change, or where is it developing to. But let me see if I can do that slowly again. And also notice how the energy changes as I add those inner notes. That's just with the single melody in the right hand. Here's with some inner notes moving. So think about how that changes some of the energy as well out of the introduction. Okay, coming into the verse, I'm using some more of those same patterns. Thinking about where my downbeats are for the major hits, and like when I want to hit that bottom note in the left hand. You can do a roll from the bottom to give it more of that kind of the ba da 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 da, some of that build. One of the things I forgot to mention, I'm sorry, there's an alternate melody I use. This D minor over A. Walking down from that D, alternating with the D in the thumb, but using that C natural. Going into the chorus. thinking about where the energy is going to go coming out of the chorus into the next that interlude with the introduction kind of melody. Da-da-dum, kind of like driving into that downbeat. Using that, the chorus, using it as a vehicle for motion. And do you want to just play it through straight? Do you want to like give a little bit as each chord changes? Where is the energy and the emotion going? Driving. Where is it building and where is it coming back? So something to think about too, as you're thinking about some of the motion you're putting in there. How is it facilitating the energy of that chorus, and how you want it to drive, and how hard you want to drive into the next part. Do you want that to drive, or you want to come out of the chorus? You could really pull back there if you wanted to. Let's see, coming into the solo. So I'm really bringing out that upper note. Kind of looking at my left hand, I am keeping that pedal tone A in the bass. When I go to that D minor. Again, thinking about how you're going to come out of that solo portion into the chorus. So how much energy, I think in my version, or that take I shared, I kind of dropped out of some of those lower notes in the bass, and then second time through, or I let it build as I went through. Coming out of the instrumental into the chorus, I talked about how the chorus is a little bit different the first time. Instead of going down to the A, to the tonic to end that. And then coming out of the last chorus the second time, I was goofing around with that improvisation, thinking about the bass note. Go check out that bass transcription video that I'm going to share in the description. And then again, coming out of that, how much you want to build it or bring it back into the last time you hear that introduction line. And then how do you want to end it, and how do you want it to die out? Let's see here. So that's slightly different than the version I shared originally. But again, each time you play, it's going to be a little bit different. So chords, melody, some of the rhythm ideas, some of the voicings I'm using, I hope it helps to have it slowed down, have me talk about it, and have the chords in front of you. If I find any other good tutorials, I will share them in the description. I encourage you to check out Christopher O'Reilly's version as well. It's a little bit different than mine. He brings some different ideas to it. He's a classical musician, and so he plays a little bit differently than I do. I think the important thing is to get kind of the basics and the structure down for yourself, and then learn the parts to where you don't have to think about it quite so much, and then you can really start to dig into it and kind of figure out each time it's gonna be a little bit different the way you play it when you're learning someone else's music. And just by the very nature of learning someone else's song, it changes a little bit, and then you make it your own when you do it at home or play for others. So I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching. Big thank you to my patrons on Patreon for supporting this channel and allowing me to keep making these videos. And the important thing to remember is, a song is more than just the sum of its parts, right? It's more than just chords and melody and rhythm. It really, try to find, what it is about that song that you like, and what can you do on your instrument to make it your own. So thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. Take care.